This is how God saved my life with love. If God didn't do this, I would be a very different person in a really bad place in life. A little bit after I graduated high school, I decided to temporarily pursue a life I didn't want to miss out on. Something I thought would be worth it and something I've partook in before but felt like I didn't get enough of. So I went for it. It was a life of seeking wild fun, cool experiences, and memorable moments to talk about later. In some ways, this was good. I did good and positive things in this area of my life. But in other ways, this was wrong because on some days, that fun I sought after meant going to parties, getting drunk, and hooking up with people. That was part of the fun I really wanted to enjoy, and that was the type of time spent with people I didn't want to miss out on. I struggled with the hooking up part, which is what I really wanted, but one night at a party, it all started to come together. I hooked up with two people in a party for the first time. My plans of having this party life pretty much started to work as I planned. That life finally started to come together for me like I really wanted. I was ready to go farther, and pretty much nothing was stopping me. But at that time, I had recently started talking to someone I met in college. I remember thinking to myself after a couple of weeks of talking to her, I kind of like her and can see myself dating her, but I didn't want to take anything serious because I really wanted to continue the party life. But around the same week, the hooking up party stuff was coming together for me. An unknown virus broke out, causing a pandemic, and the person I was talking to had a really compromised immune system. So it was either be with her or be around a bunch of people hooking up at parties. I really wanted the party stuff for a long time, but I found her to be amazing and I loved her. And I got to learn about the hurt that she was going through and went through throughout her life. God knew to send her into my life because God knew my heart couldn't walk away from someone like that just to go off and follow something selfish. God knew my heart would long to help. So I walked away from the party life to be with her because I didn't want her to be alone and to hurt, and I didn't want to be without her. In this, God saved my life with love and offered me a life that was better, bringing two of the right kind of people together, because what we both really wanted was to be safely wanted and to live a life that was heading in the right direction and that actually felt alive. I was hopeful and kind, helping her to see the possibility of a better life, and she was kind and so disconnected from the world, helping me to stop looking for a better life in the party culture. Instead, I became a super germaphobe, sanitizing everything, and learned a lot more about healing the body through nutrition to keep her safe from the virus. And I was happy to do it because I wanted to keep her safe, and it meant that I could spend time with her. I thought I could get a piece of life I didn't want to miss out on in the selfish ways of the parties, but life felt way more amazing preferring her over myself and being there for her. The parties was about serving myself, but the relationship was about serving her, and it was better. Instead of going deeper into that vain and destructive lifestyle, I got to serve her, and it helped me to see and to want a better and fulfilling way of life. And she got to be cared for in her troubles so that she could see the hope and love that's in life. And we both got to have what we were looking for, to be safely wanted. I didn't deserve for God to send someone to me at that time in my life. But in James 2:13 it says, "For judgment is without mercy to the one who has shown no mercy. Mercy triumphs over judgment." This is part of what God is trying to say. Mercy has the ability to change someone's life drastically in a good way, like Jesus did for us on the cross. God shows mercy towards us because it can change our minds, our hearts, and lead us into the right direction of safety. Also, God wants us to have loving relationships that serve one another because it reflects his holy and perfect kingdom. In John 13:34, it says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another." Also in Ephesians 5:24-25, it says this, "Therefore, just as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her." So if we can leave selfishness to follow love, we will have a life we don't want to miss out on. And if God is offering you a blessing to save you, take it.